Gentlemen, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you're watching this seminar. Hope you haven't pirated this video of dirty tricks. Thank you for coming to this illustrious venue. I have finally made it. I can tell my mum, I did tell my mum, Mum, tomorrow I'm performing in the Hippodrome in Leicester Square in London. And I kid you not, I've always been fascinated by the Hippodrome, if you're into magic, if you're into showmanship, if you're into people like Frank Sinatra. The Hippodrome, for you geeks, opened in 1900. So it's always been a place of delinquency and naughtiness. It started off as almost like a circus. So where the casino is downstairs, the casino floor, that used to be a sunken 100,000 litre water tank where elephants used to swim and polar bears and lion tamers used to perform. And the first night in this building in 1900 performed a young Charlie Chaplin. His first appearance on the stage was that stage. From Charlie Chaplin to Tom Torero. What a downfall. What a downfall. And then it became a music hall. People like Judy Garland, Houdini, one of my heroes, Harry Houdini. Performed a lot all around London, performed in Cardiff as well. Weirdly, he performed in Newport. Had a fight in Newport, that's a different story. But Houdini took on the British press downstairs once again for many hours and tried to escape from locks and chains. People say that his wife handed him the key with a kiss or with a handkerchief, you can look into it. But he escaped and he won the bet, so that was Harry Houdini. Then it went through some rough times, obviously the war. Then it became talk of the town. Is anybody here old enough to remember the TV show in the 60s? Everyone's hiding their heads, the older chaps. 60s and 70s, it was a bit like Strictly Come Dancing. It was called Talk of the Town. And this is when it was at its peak with people like Frank Sinatra, Ella Fitzgerald, the Welsh Tom Jones, the Jackson 5. Crazy, crazy, crazy history downstairs. And then it went through some really rough times in the 80s and was taken on by the late, great Peter Stringfellow. God rest his soul. A fantastic playboy who opened the first strip club up the road. And Stringfellow turned it into London's filthiest and at some time most violent nightclub. So downstairs you can only imagine how many tourists came and had happy endings and what went on downstairs in the 80s and the 90s. Can you imagine? Troy over there's a big fan of Gangland, Manchester days. Well, that all happened here as well. A bit of burlesque, and then it became what it is today, a casino. So why did I tell you all that? Because it's all linked to performance. And what is pickup? It's performance, it's influence, it's persuasion, it's charisma, it's confidence, it's charm, it's magic, it's tricks. But Tom, tricks sounds so bad. It sounds so manipulative. Tricking these innocent women, you're a bad, bad man. A sneaky man, as I'm known. Well, let's read what Darren Brown says about magic, which really is what Degging is all about. Magic isn't about fakes and switches and dropping coins on your lap. It's about entering into a relationship with a person where you can lead, keyword, lead them to experience an event as magical. Rarely is there any sense of challenge, anger, or resentment, unless you're doing it wrong, at being tricked. Some form of unspoken contract exists between the performer and the spectator, which permits the deception. We'll talk about Darren Brown later. I don't know if Darren Brown's performed here, but he certainly performed in London theatres. And he's saying that it takes two to tango. Yeah? So when people say, you manipulative pickup artist, I see it as exactly as a relationship the magician has with the audience. I'm not a pickpocket, I'm a performer. I lead and I persuade and I charm and I influence with the other person's permission. She's in on it, she enjoys it, she wants me to do it. When you go and see a Darren Brown show, you want to be tricked. And at the back of your mind, you know it's a trick, but you allow the trick to happen and you're still amazed. That's the interesting thing. Even though you know what Tom Torero might show you today is a bit of magic, you still have that moment of awe and wonder, and you want to see it. So why did I call it dirty tricks? Because they're dirty, as in this seminar is not about magic, it's about making sweet love with beautiful young girls of legal age. And the trick is that it's a tango, that it's a dance. So, how did Tom Torero really start day gaming in central London? I won't tell you the full story. It is available to buy in paperback and e-form. But in this book, there's a whole section on me in Covent Garden in 2009 and 2010, walking around Covent Garden, doing indirect pickup, which was, do you remember, asking for directions and tube maps and do you know where a cool coffee shop is? And I kept stopping to watch this man. Has anybody seen this man in Covent Garden? He's still performing. He's probably performing today. On Magician's Corner. It's that corner with the red telephone box in Covent Garden. They allow magicians to perform. And this is the most famous. He's the most respected out of the London street magicians. He's called Sergio. And if you're watching Sergio, I still owe you a beer. He's Brazilian, and he is phenomenal. And he does the same act about 4 times a day when he's doing it, and he's been doing it now for a decade. Doesn't really change his act. He polishes it. He is so tight. He is tight as a nun's. You get it. He's fantastic. So after a few weeks of walking around Covent Garden looking for girls, Sergio spotted me, and I had obviously spotted Sergio. And after the show, he called me over, and he said, I know what you're doing. And I felt so guilty, like a schoolboy. Oh, God, I'm doing pickup. He said, yeah, you're doing pickup. He said, you're doing what I'm doing. And at the time, I didn't really see the link. But Sergio went through his act, how he opens, how he stacks, how he gets the topic and goes with it, how he hooks an audience in and vibes. There's a video of Sergio's whole routine on YouTube. Just type in Sergio Covent Garden Magic, and you'll see the opener, which is balloon animals with children. I'm not saying you should do this for your day game. He draws people in using the child, so then the parents come and then the grandparents come. He throws out some assumptions. He does geography, by the way, so if you're into geography stacking, Sergio knows way more geography stacks than you do. And then he'll get some answers, and then he'll go with his vibing. Again, he knows way more funny one-liners than me or you. All day game, suitable. The crowd's hooked. By this stage, he's got 100, 200, sometimes 500 people. Then he dials down his energy and he gets them to invest. Are you picking up where this is going? Yeah? The crowd is now really invested because they're on the fucking stage and he's using them. And he's grabbing people in, stopping people going. Incredible. Now he's got a massive crowd which is going to pay for or earn him the equivalent of your week's salary. He's going to earn this in 10 minutes. And then he closes. He closes with the finale, which involves a melon and a hat. I can't describe how good it is. But most importantly, why is he doing it? For money. So what usually happens with street performers when they say, thank you very much, goodbye? What happens? The crowd immediately runs. You've done it. You do a fucking runner, don't you? Like, please don't see me. But he's the master of getting people to pay. And if they don't pay, there's a little spike. He uses a little verbal spike with that melon, and he's got routines for how to get that person back and get that person back and get more money off you. And they say, oh, I don't have any cash. So he's got a routine for that. And you ask him how much he makes in one performance. And he does that 4 or 5 times a day. So who's the mug here? You in your office or Sergio? And he's fantastic. And anyway, he said, I know what you're doing. You're doing what I'm doing. And we had a big chat. And he's known me all these years, and I still go and say hello to him. There's a lot of other magicians, but he's the best. So I became Sergio, just in a different way. As a kid, I wanted to be a magician. But basically, I believe I still do the same job. Influence, persuasion, charisma, getting other people to hook and invest, and closing them in a different manner. So that was the day game blueprint in 2011. 2012 was Date Against the Machine. This is the origin of all this stuff, if you're a game nerd. where we broke down the day game blueprint in field the first time ever. This was the girlfriend sequence, which was a follow-up to, this was all about day game, this was all about dating. A lesbian, sadly, before you ask. But a lovely girl. And this was Badass Buddha, which was a bit more inner gamey, 2014. So today, Dirty Tricks, it'll be a highlight reel, and I promise you it'll be over 100 new things. You can hold me to that. If you're a nerd, you can write down the new ones, the old ones, count them up. And in the 100 tally, you've got to include my magic hat, or what's in my magic hat. Okay, little disclaimer, because someone's going to moan online. Tom, you gave me all this material. You gave me 100 things. I went out there. I performed it in Covent Garden on some French girls, and it didn't work. The line didn't work. That's always the message. The line didn't work. Or I did the routine, or I did the Neil Strauss Strawberry Fields routine, or I did the Tom Torero stack, and it didn't work, and I want my money back. Don't you dare ask for your money back. Because you missed out. Is it 50% or is it 90%? Because when Sergio performs, the tricks are quite simple. They're just cups and balls. I couldn't do it, you couldn't do it, but a magician can do it. And other magicians in Covent Garden copy Sergio's routine. Weirdly, he doesn't mind. So you might go there immediately after Sergio, and there's an Italian guy doing the same routine, using Sergio's lines. But they're not as good. The delivery's not as good. People don't pay as much. So here's the huge argument about game. Yes, this seminar today is just material. I'm not going to do mindsets, concepts, anything like that. We haven't got time. But you have to put in the delivery. I'm waking up. It's early in the morning when we're filming this seminar. Even now, I'm pushing the delivery. It's hard. It's unnatural. But 2 or 3 hours into the seminar, I should be all right. Right? Same with day game. And when you're a teacher full-time, your delivery's fantastic. So don't forget the delivery. And also, the second disclaimer is, today this is my material, or sharing my wings and my material. But if you understand the principles underneath, pick up, you should be able to go away and develop your own material. It's a little bit sad if you're doing Sergio's magic routine or Tom Torero's day game routine forever. I don't mind, because you'll see other people's material in this seminar, but if you understand the principles, which is all the mechanics, which is available to buy at Street Hustle. We're not going to talk about the mechanics today, the principles underneath game. You should be able to create your own material because you recognize the elements, and a magician knows the elements of magic and he can create his own tricks. Really, really important. So no, it's not going to transform your life just by having 100 things written down. All right. Nobody admitted when we had a chat earlier on to being new. That's fine. If you are new, this section will take about 60 seconds. And there you go. There's the day game blueprint. You could say there's the mystery method, what became known as the London day game model, just because of some daytime tweaks. And you could argue that's Darren Brown's, Houdini's, Charlie Chaplin's, Sergio's structure, which it is. Okay, a charity sign-up person on the street uses that structure. The Wolf of Wall Street, a tele salesperson, uses that structure. This is not new. You've got to understand that as a meta concept. Okay, so if you're new to day game, you walk up to a girl that you don't know and you give her a compliment, a low investment compliment. You look nice. You do look nice. You look beautiful. You look cute. It doesn't really matter what you say. It's not asking for directions. That's why we call it direct. We don't ask questions, so you have to follow it up with giving value. So when the magician's in Covent Garden, he doesn't just do a balloon trick and say, give me the money. He has to do something. So the girl's standing there looking at you going, okay, do something. So don't ask questions. That's the magician asking for something. You have to give. So we give statements. They're not serious. They're fun, they're flirty, they're cheeky. We're guessing something, we're guessing something, we're guessing something, we're guessing something. We're throwing stuff out, just like Sergio does. And on a bad day in the drizzle, can you imagine, in January, on a Wednesday, Sergio's just throwing out this material and no one's stopping, you know. So he has to keep stacking until he gets something back, he can vibe, and then what are we waiting for? Hook point. And a magician knows it, a comedian knows it, a performer on the stage outside knows it. You think, thank fuck, I've reached hook point. I've got him. Now what's the biggest hustle heist of all that took me 2 years to work out? It's this bit. You have to stop performing. And it's so tempting for the magician or the singer or the salesperson to keep selling, isn't it? Because you get so egotistical and up yourself that you enjoy the performance. Sergio enjoys it too much sometimes. So what do you have to do at this critical moment? Grounding we'll come on to, which is being a bit more honest. And most importantly, shutting up. Shutting up. So the audience or the girl actually does some work. If she doesn't, the audience are not going to pay up at the end. And the girl's not going to give you the phone number. So we ask her some open questions, we ground, we do some stuff that we'll talk about today. She invests, la-di-da-di-da. Tom looks at his watch. He's waiting for the magical time of... How many minutes?
7.
Good, you're a dayimer. 7. Under 5 is too short. Over 10 is too boring. 7 is this weird, perfect set. I think Sergio's routine's about 20 minutes. He must know the perfect length. But a day gamer's perfect length is about 7 minutes. If you're just going around doing 1 minute number closes, what's going to happen? It's flake sitting. If you're doing 20-minute sets, what's going to happen?
Too much comfort.
Comfort. So weirdly, she might flake as well. If you take her on if you take lots of girls on instant dates, what might happen?
Comfort.
Friend zone.
Weirdly, instant dates can create friend zone through comfort. So I don't do them unless you're going for a SDL, not STD. That's a little one-liner. Write that down. Okay, so we'll go through in 5 minutes now a little test of your London day game model or day game blueprint knowledge. Key parts of what we do on the street. So I give the compliment. Excuse me, I know this is cheeky, but I think you look very nice. And then I tell my student to use the word because. So if you're not very good at stacking, just add on the word because. I think you look nice because. Say what you see, that's what I tell my students, and twist it. So I'm not really interested in saying to you exactly what I believe you're wearing or what your job is. That's not the idea. Some students misunderstand that you have to actually guess what this person is doing or where they're from. No, that's not the idea. You're entertaining. And the guy goes, oh yeah, I'm flirting. You have to be funny. So you can say what she reminds you of, or a little bit of role play, or you can make a little twist on the country you think she's from, or I'll give you my stacks in a second. So you get the topic. Can somebody give me a job? Let's do job. So I'll go with, I already know what you do. I know what a lot of you guys do. Okay, I'll say to you, you look very nice, which you do. And I'll use the word because. I think you look very nice because, and I said this to you as you came in this morning, you look very nice because you look very smart, you look very magical. I said you look like Darren Brown, you look like a performer, you look like a stage performer. I think you're creative. I think you're you look like a public speaker. Tell me what you do.
I'm a pimp.
A pimp. Very good. This guy's got game. Funny or not, let's say you said accountant. He said pimp. We're going to go with the launch pad, which is, anybody know the magical phrase? Girl gives you the topic and the day gamer says, when I think of. There you go, you get a prize later. When I think of. So the beginner day gamer goes, right, when I think of pimping, I imagine you in the fur coat and the stick and the hat and the bitches and the skull on the top of the thing, and I saw this movie and you remind me of this, and I know this, and I know this. That's the skill of a day gamer, improvisation. You can spot a good day gamer immediately, because when you give him a topic, he runs with it. The power of talking bullshit. Yeah? And you keep running with it until she hooks or walks off, just like Sergio does. The buffer phrase. So let's say you've gone too far and you've teased her too much, you've challenged her too much, you've done a bit of a harsh neg. You know, how can you recover?
I like it.
Very good. Two points for this gentleman over there. 2 points to 1 point. I like it. So often I go too far. I might say to the girl on the street, "You look like Darren Brown." Imagine that as an observation. And you can see that her face drops. She looks a little bit like, "What the fuck?" I say, no. I like it. I like it. It's very beautiful, you know. I love it. You look great. It's turning me on. So recover with a buffer phrase. That's the dynamic of push and pull. The push is the tease and the challenge. The pull is the buffer phrase. You should know all this stuff. Use her name. So, John over there. I might say to you, "John, just come and stand over here a second. So, John, tell me, how long have you lived in London? John, remind me again, what's your job?" Anyway, John, another time. Anybody know this trick from Starbucks? Or you get it in sales a lot. The power of the name. Your favorite word is your name, or your favorite topic is yourself. This is human conditions. Stage illusionists use it a lot. Persuaders, hypnotists, if you believe in hypnotism, salespeople use it, day gamers use it. So as soon as I get her name, Anna, Sarah, I work out a way of making fun of it, Anna Karenina, or freestyle with the name, but I remember to keep using it. It's easy to lead her, it's easy to move her, mini bounce, instant date, number close. Anna, just stand up a second. Anna. If you say it in a loud bar and you say, "Anna," I shout it across the bar, "Anna, make it a double. Make it a double." She looks immediately. Use the name. That's why in Starbucks they write it on the cup. They don't give a damn about you really, but they think, "Oh, that's nice. She wrote Tom. Oh, they must like me." Open questions. So a day gamer should be doing this automatically on the street and in your social circle. Can anyone give me an example of a closed question?
How old are you?
Yeah. So you'll hear the beginner day gamers go, "Oh, that's cool. So how old are you?" And she says, give me an answer.
18.
18. Okay. Okay. And then the beginner day gamer will say, "Okay, cool. You heard that word a lot? Cool, wow, amazing, cool. What part of London do you live in?" You heard yourself say that one? And she'll say,
Leicester Square.
"Oh, Leicester Square. You live in Leicester Square? Oh, cool. Do you like it?"
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So conversation's going in a vaginal shape, a V, into nothing, into the pit of despair. Okay? So in life, try and practice open questions. It's good to be open. It's good to go deep and be open, okay? Can someone give me an example of an open question that you might use with a girl on the street?
So why did you come to London?
Yeah, so why are you living in Leicester Square? What is the solution to this mystery? Why did you come to London? Give me another open question.
What do you like about your job?
What do you like about your job? I'd avoid talking about job, because again, it's a road to despair, unless you're teasing and challenging and being playful. But what do you like about London? What do you like about Portugal? You know, tell me the story of those boots. I mean, you look like a cowboy. Where's the horse? You know, tell me the story of those boots. Open questions. Open questions are also qualifying somebody, getting them to do the work. We'll come on to that. Stealth questions. Anybody know this one? How can I ask a question without asking a question? It's in. Yeah, you're hoping they respond, but there's an even more sneaky way. There's a dirty trick. It's in Street Hustle.
I don't know about you.
Very good. Right, this guy's getting a gold sticker. I don't know about you, but it's a fantastic stealth question. I don't know your opinion on this, but when I was in Barcelona, da-da-da-da-da-da. I don't know about you, but when I'm in Leicester Square, da-da-da-da-da-da-da, it forces the other person to respond. Again, it's an old trick. These aren't new. I'm summarizing these. And a false choice. This is how Tom Torero closes on the street, or my student closes when I wave the phone behind her head. Or I do that, and he thinks I'm saying blowjob. I say, no. So what's a smooth, sneaky, dirty trick to close with a false choice? Actually, I use 2 false choices on the close.
Should you Instagram or numbers?
Ugh, don't say that horrible word, Instagram. No, we don't Instagram close. First, we try a real close, yeah? So you could give a false choice on that. Are you on WhatsApp or are you on Viber? What's better for you, WhatsApp or Viber, as you handle the phone? Yeah? Are you more of a beer guy or are you more of a wine guy? Tuesday or Thursday I'm free next week. What's better for you, Tuesday or Thursday? Used by salespeople all the time. Sergio uses this one, false choices. So she's coming out and drinking wine or beer anyway on a Tuesday or a Thursday. I've got her WhatsApp or her Viber anyway. Just on that interesting point, I still go for WhatsApp first. Secondly, I would go for SMS, but I've not met a girl who's using text messages the whole of this year or last year. So most of the world now is WhatsApp, apart from Asia. Facebook, I've stopped because it was a bit too revealing. Getting on my, friends and family. They know too much, which if you have a job like mine, is a little bit dirty. Email, I got laid off. One email closed this year, which is in a podcast, because she said, I don't have any social media, I don't have any WhatsApp, and I thought she was just fobbing me off, being all snarky and sarcastic. So sarcastically back, I said, okay, I'll take your email. And this was in Moscow. And she went, okay, it's her name, and then 61485237. I'm like, right, you're definitely taking the piss now. And lo and behold, I emailed her from my phone, and she replied from her phone. And I took her out, and it was a notch. So email works. Instagram we'll come on to later. But for cold approach pickup artists, you don't really need it. My conclusion from experimenting with it. Now, if you want to do social circle, or cheesy club game, or friend, or work environment pickup, or Tinder, yeah, we'll talk about it later. All right, because I'm asked about this all the time, what stacks do you do? So if you watch Sergio in Covent Garden, you'll see the same way he gets people to come and watch the show. If you watch my infield videos, has anybody seen Stealth Seduction? Plug. You poor bastard. It's about 18 hours. And a feedback I had, or you could say it was a criticism, one of the guys went, Tom, in every set you do, you basically say the same thing. All around the world, and all these different girls. You lazy fucker. Tom, you're meant to be good. Like for 10 years, why don't you change? And that's like me saying to Sergio, why don't you just change your act every time? Because Sergio says, because it works. Sergio's lazy. I'm very lazy with my day game, especially at 9 o'clock in the morning. So if you watch any of my infield videos, you'll see me saying, excuse me, you look very nice. You look very focused. You look suspiciously focused. You're on a mission. You're about to save the world. You're a spy. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I avoid geography. I avoid job for the reason that I said. Job is a very heavy topic at 9 o'clock in the morning, yeah? So we're role playing. We're taking the Michael, as we say in English. Excuse me, I know this sounds random. You look beautiful. You look so bloody focused. You're like a train hurtling towards, Jesus, what's going on? This is great. So the opposite of the fast-moving girl is, hello. I know this is a bit cheeky of me in my best Hugh Grant voice. Hello there, hi. Yeah, I know this is a bit strange, but great for America. You look bloody dreamy. You look very dreamy. You're in a bubble. You in a bubble. You sleepy, yeah, for Japanese taking. And every girl is in her own world, lost in a bubble. In a daze, in a haze. What's going on? You nearly fell into the road. I saved your life. You need to buy me a beer, You're so dreamy, you're nearly walking backwards. What the hell is going on? Or if she's an English girl, you can say, what the fuck is going on? They love it, right? Again, I'm trying to draw her in. I'm not trying to be heavy. Very good, very good. And the student says, but she didn't look happy. Especially the German student, but she did not look happy. I cannot say this. I say, no, mate, it's a joke. What is a joke? Sorry, German viewers, but it's bloody true. One German student once said to me, Tom, should I approach from the left or the right? I said, mate, it doesn't really matter. But what is more successful, the left or the right? I saw you from approximately 3.2 meters away. You laugh, but it's true. So, you look suspiciously happy. What the hell is going on? You can't be from London. Tie it into geography. You can't be from wherever you are. You can't be from Barcelona. Everyone's in a right grump. But look at you. You won the lottery. You just got paid. That's a good spike. Write it down. And again, a girl will tell you why she's happy. She probably wasn't happy, but she'll tell you what's going on. Some old Torero classics. Excuse me, you look very nice. I love how focused you are on your phone, you know, doing your Tinder. Your work. If she's in Starbucks, pretending to be a student, she's obviously not doing her work. She's on her laptop. Girls are constantly now on phone and laptop, WhatsApp on laptop. So you can say, sorry to interrupt your studying. Tinder, I'm your next Tinder date. This is like real life Tinder. Nice to meet you. Anyway, you're so bloody focused. That one works less well now because the craze is gone. But when a girl is standing in Leicester Square looking at her phone, you look very, very nice. Sorry to interrupt this game of Pokemon. Do I count as a Pokemon? Use the Pokemon. It still works in Japan. You get a giggle off Pokemon. Tinder's the better one because it's got that sexual undertone of her waiting for her next Tinder date, of her, is this the mass Tinder swipe now? It's all right, somebody loves you, it's okay, give me a hug. Virtual real life Tinder's great. So if she's in a cafe, you can arrive. I've seen a student just open with, I'm your next Tinder date, And for a second she thinks, fuck, is it? It's in too many of my videos because I'm so lazy. Excuse me, you look very nice, you look very creative. I used it on you. Means absolutely nothing. You can say it to any human in the world and they go, oh my God, how did you know? I play the cello. Oh my God. You get some information out of it. Anyway, do you need any more than that? No. Do I use any more than that? No. So stop being logical and worrying. What does she look like? What is her job? Where is she from? It doesn't matter. I don't give a fuck. I want her to give me some information. And once I've got the information, I can start to vibe. I can start to play. I can start to perform. I say to my students, it's like the Tom Torero show. So she gives me a topic. Let's go with, just for boredom's sake, let's go with job. Let's do another job. So I'll say remind me of your name? Mark, I'll say to Mark, I know this is cheeky, Mark, but you look very, very nice. I saw you from over there, actually, and I had to come and say you look so nice because, remember the word because, you've got that Steve Irwin look about you, You look like you're a crocodile hunter in Australia. You've got that rugged Bear Grylls outdoor look about you, like you've just had a barbecue and wrestled a fucking tiger. London Zoo is that way. Nice to meet you. What's your job?
You couldn't be more wrong. I'm an actuary.
You're an actuary. Oh my God. It was nice to meet you. We're getting divorced. It's over. But it was fun while it lasted. Not another bloody actuary, really. My mother always told me, Tom, be careful of those hot but dangerous actuaries, okay? I've got the topic, and I'm not going to stop until she hooks or walks away. This is day game. If you want to know what day game is, it's just what I showed you. You get a little bit of something from her, even one word like an actuary. When Sergio gets one thing from the crowd, and then he knows how to fucking ignite it. Right? And am I talking to her logically about, I can't even say actuaries, the plural, is that right? Am I talking logically about actuaries? Do I care about actuaries? No. And again, this is very confusing for German guys, Scandinavian guys, British guys. They say to me, but she said she was an actuary. So I was really thinking hard about all my knowledge of the actuaries. I say, mate, come on. In England, we call it banter. And thank God this exists in Britain, because when I teach in America, it doesn't exist. What do Americans do by default? Sorry, American viewers. When they hear the word actuary or lawyer or student. What's an American's default conversational style?
It's very polite.
Very polite. It's extremely polite. It's extremely friendly in that kind of slightly, to a British person, it's like, oh God, so nice and so, they want to know it.
It's like they're on eggshells.
Yeah.
They don't want to offend at all.
And they really want to bond with you. Oh my God, that's so great. My cousin's dad, and they tell you their whole life, which is great for socializing, but it's terrible for flirtation. It's the opposite of flirtation. British people, Kiwis do it well, Aussies do it well, the Irish do it well. I know these are stereotypes, but I've taught enough fucking students to know. Irish really do start fighting when you give them a juicy topic. Yep, so here are some of the classics that I use. They're in my little book, which I shall include. Someone's got some love. If you're watching this, I'll include the PDF for free. It's called How to Flirt with Girls. I'll give it to you. It's got 200 of these pathetic spikes in that work every time. Sergio, again, watch. I know I'm talking a lot about Sergio. I should pay you for this, Sergio. But watch the video on YouTube called Sergio Magician Covent Garden and write down, steal, I probably have, his one-liners, his spikes. He's tested these longer than day gamers have been doing day game. Maybe he's been doing it 15 years, 20 years. He's got a line for everything. So if she says China or America, or she says whatever, she's a student, he's got a line. And it's a very cutting, witty line. And day gamers have them as well. My mother warned me about, that's in pretty much every one of my videos. It's never going to work out. It's over, you know. You've ruined the moment, you know. That's it, walk away. We're getting divorced. I said that to the, what did I say, Troy, to the Portuguese girl? Oh, I said, this is my ex-wife.
Yeah.
Such an old PUA routine. And she immediately jumped into it. Yes, I'm the ex-wife. I said, I've got the kids. I've got the kids, she's got the house. It's amicable, you know. So, it's never going to work out. Implied divorce. That explains a lot. That is one of the greatest lines. Use it at work, use it with social situations. Whatever she says, you go, okay, oh right, that explains a lot. With that knowing look, that explains a lot. You look like trouble. So my whole preach for the day game model, I say, is to accuse. Accuse, accuse, accuse. Don't be logical, logical, logical. So whatever she gives you, imagine she's a naughty child or a puppy dog. You've got to have that look in your eyes to say, you look like trouble. You look like trouble. You know, I don't buy it. That's another great line. I don't buy it. Suspicious. Don't worry, I won't tell your mum. Your secret's safe with me. It's another great line. If you can't write all these lines down, you guys will have access to this. And if you're watching, just stop and write them down. Don't be lazy. I say, come on, learn some material. We're getting divorced. You've heard that in every single thing I've ever done. Overused, but it's funny. It's okay. I still like you, you know. Even with the cowboy boots, I still like you, you know. No matter what other people say about you, I still like you. That's a funny line. I didn't believe what they said about you anyway. See the human psychology? Push, pull, power of the push. All right. Some ones I've been writing down because I've been using them a lot recently. This one came from the other week in London with a Spanish girl. I was using it years ago, but I forgot it, and then I used it again, and it got such a good reaction. I used it all day. So you go up to the girl in Covent Garden. You look like you're studying. Oh, you look very nice. You look like you're studying in London. No, I'm tourist. I'm terrorist. Sorry, what? I'm terrorist. You're a terrorist. No, you shouldn't be saying that. Not in this political climate. Officer, we got one. We got another one. Do you remember the Peter Kay joke? The dad joke, get her in a headlock? Don't get her in a headlock. But it's a wonderful one. Didn't quite work in Japan. They weren't good enough to understand the double meaning, but a very funny one. So if you can play on words, again, it's accusational. Here's another one. You're a lawyer. A liar? Really? You shouldn't admit to lying? Oh, lawyer, liar, same thing, you know, same thing. So you do enough of these and you'll meet girls with the same job. So just like Sergio, you develop this bank of things that work. Because today, if you go out and do day game, you are going to meet a lawyer. For sure. If you do 10 sets, you are going to meet a student. You are going to meet a Spanish girl. For sure. So if tomorrow you don't have anything to say about Spain, you're an idiot. Sergio would have gone home and got a little fact about Spanish people, yeah? So when the girl this morning was setting up the room, she told me Portugal. Immediately my PUA brain clicked in, spat out a fact about Portugal. No, it wasn't logical. Lisbon is the capital of Portugal. I said, pastel de nata. They make me fat. That's my guilty pleasure in Portugal. Pastel de nata, these little tarts. She didn't get that bit. Hot tarts. And every morning I would go down to the bakery and I'd guzzle them. Make sure nobody was looking, and then I'd have another one. And I got so fat in Portugal. They're just so nice, especially when they're hot. And this girl's eyes were like that. Oh my God. Again, much better than saying, oh, what part of Portugal are you from? How many kilometers to the airport? Sorry, German people, but I'm ramming home the point. All students do this. But I don't do it, Tom Torero, I don't do it. So the first thing out of my magical hat is a dick the phone. Dun, dun. If you've been in the game long enough, you should have a battered dick the phone that you pull out your pocket. No, you don't actually. You put it in your pocket and it records for 23 hours solidly. I don't think I've ever changed the batteries in it. This recorded all of Stealth Seduction, every podcast I've ever done. 20 quid from Argos or whatever. I think it's America. And why should you record yourself? Because I'm nagging you, but when you hear yourself making these mistakes, you'll cringe. Right? So go back to everything I've just said about asking questions, closed questions, serious logical answers, getting her to do work before you've done anything. You're sitting there now thinking, nah, this is all a piece of piss. I don't do any of this. You listen to yourself, right? Cringy. I listen to myself even now. I put up an infield and just go, oh God. Hear the voice go up then, or, ooh, I missed the fucking topic. Damn, I missed the topic. Because when you're in the moment, it's very hard, isn't it? To A, read her face, B, listen to all the gold she's giving you. That's why being present is one of the cores of modern pickup, because you have to listen to what she's saying. Anyway, I'm not meant to be talking about inner game. Okay, just a few more cheeky spikes. So the girl says she's from Aberdeen, or she's from Iceland, or she's from Poland, or she's from Kazakhstan, and go, wow, Kazakhstan. Well, it's too easy with Kazakhstan, isn't it? And Borat, okay, Aberdeen. She says she's from Aberdeen, really? Aberdeen, no, never heard of Aberdeen. Scott what? Scotland? Oh, Scotland. Do you have electricity? Again, it's the delivery. And if you're doing it rightly, she'll kind of spank your arm kindly, or she'll giggle. Is there electricity? And you follow it up with, and cars? Does Aberdeen have the motor vehicles? Ah, yes. Before it goes, you say, well, soon in Iceland, I heard that you're getting this magical thing that flies through the air, which allows pornography. I mean, education. It's called the internet. Again, accusations, not taking her seriously, treating her like a bratty child. Okay, this was from John Matrix, the guy I used to teach boot camps with in 2012 and 13. John had great frame, and he would often approach very stony-faced Russians. That was his type. I think now his girlfriend is from Slovakia. But often he'd approach those girls intimidatingly cold. You know, like they'd just come out of the strip club. Very hot, but very cold. And you know what I'm talking about if you've gamed on Oxford Street with the high heels. Not you in the high heels. The girls in the high heels, it's the middle of the day, you're thinking, fucking hell, I don't really feel like they're opening this girl. She's walking a million miles an hour just out of Stringfellows, you know? You know the type. So anyway, that's what John liked. John liked the fucking challenge. I liked the bookshop. John liked a storming girl in a bad mood. And you would open her, hello. I know this is random. I had to say you look very nice. I love how you're on a mission. I love how you're all in black. And she just, she does the Moscow minute, the Russian minute, Yes. Da. Mm-hmm. Even nothing, just staring at you. She's not moving away. So the day gamer should keep going. The magician should keep trying. But she's standing there and okay, this is a battle now. And John would call it out, elephant in the room. John, with a smile on his face, would say, I love how you're giving me nothing. I love how you're making me do all the work. This is so adorable, So I'm just going to keep talking. Anyway, you said Russia. So when I think of Russia, I think of da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And then he'd follow it up with, I love how awkward this is getting now, That woman's just bumped into us. The security guy's watching us. Those two people are listening in Starbucks now. I love how fucking awkward this is. Elephant in the room. It's one of my best tools in my toolkit. Because it immediately dissolves that awkwardness. Another funny one-liner. I bet you say that to all the guys. All these are probably stolen from films or TV shows or students I've had or wings I've had or stuff that I've come across and come across again. I'm the guy your mother warned you about. It's a great line. Use it on the day game, use it in text. I often do use it on the date. So when she says, you know, but tell Tom, who are you? Tell me a bit more about yourself. I'm the guy your mother warned you about. You know, if your dad knew you were here, fuck, you know. He thinks you're in church. Again, you're framing yourself as certainly not the regular Joe nice guy. Whenever she says something boring, again, day game, texting, dating, this works across all three. Where's the fun in that? You're implying that she's the letdown. She's the wet fish. She's the boring one. You want to present yourself as that carefree guy. Where's the fun in that? You know, she's off to work. She has to go in the tube. She's babysitting on a Tuesday. Where's the fun in that? Again, flipping the script, implying she's the nerdy, boring one. This is one I've used quite frequently. In America, this works very well. The more superficial the city, the better. So we're talking New York, LA, Miami. Might work in bits of London. South Kensington, Sloane Square, Bond Street. Yeah, you look really nice. I just love this coat, this fluffy coat. It makes you look like an adorable polar bear. I love it. Remember the buffer phrase? I love it, I love it, I love it. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people wearing these in London. What's going on? What does that do? Why is that a clever move?
She qualifies herself.
Yeah, women hate the fact that you've seen someone else wearing it. Because that's why she doesn't like shopping at H&M and Zara. She's bought it off the internet, or she did buy it in Milan. And you go, there's so many people wearing those in London. It's adorable, I love it. Don't forget the buffer phrase for that one. You're going to get slapped otherwise. I love it. That's really nice. You're a fluffy polar bear. Come here. Yeah, that's even more of a diss. You know, the boots are great, you know. Not many people pull them off. You know, I used to see a lot of people wearing those Uggs. You say that in LA. Not many girls pull them off now, but they're good on you, you know. Not bad, not good. They're all right. Delivery. Don't you write to me and say you got slapped because of any of these. All right, physicality, and then, yeah, we'll push on. Push on with physicality on the street. So I'm going to hide that one. We've done lots of verbal stuff. Tom Torero's very verbal. I'm actually too verbal. So a criticism you might have of my magic style, my pickup style, is, Tom, you enjoy the verbal banter, which I do. You might be more of the John Matrix kind of guy, stony-faced, not saying much. Let's get physical, as Olivia Newton-John sang in that song. So how can you get physical on the street? This is not night game, right? This is not social circle. You've just met her in Piccadilly Circus in the middle of the day. How can you get physical with a girl on the street? And I've made videos on these. So you've seen one of them. What's that? Come on.
Hold her hand and pull her towards you.
Yeah, it's a bit of a pretentious way. I call it the Maradona move after the football incident. Of pretending you're going to shake her hand. You can do this at the beginning, the middle, or the end of the set. It doesn't really matter. Sorry, I never got your name.
Davis.
Davis. And rather than the masculine kind of awkward David Brent handshake, you just want to hold it. We're obviously too far. So if you're cheeky, you can pull it in a little bit. I'm going to dislocate your shoulder. We'd be about this far. And with many cultures, you can just hold the hand. Specifically in Asia and Russia and Ukraine, Eastern Europe, South America. Actually, it's only British girls that don't like it. You just hold a hand and carry on. And if you're cheeky, as I said, you do a little pull towards you and you might close that distance. Now that sounds ridiculous. Tom, you're just shaking her hand. But in a day game set, it can take it from 5 miles an hour to 500 miles an hour. If you don't believe me, go and try it. Hold it, do the eyes, carry on talking. If you're really cheeky, pull in a little bit. It goes fucking filthy very, very fast. It's actually too filthy, so I drop it. But Tom, why didn't you keep escalating? Because you're on the street. This is day game, brother. We're not in a Vegas club.
Tom, just a quick question. So
No questions allowed, yes.
So if you pull her in, and if she calls it out, or she says that, why are you pulling me in?
That's,
So is
that's never happened. What's much more likely to happen? She'll just let go. Yeah, no human's ever said, why are you holding my hand? If a girl's uncomfortable, she'll let go.
Okay.
But it should be in the right time, again, in the right place, with the right vibe, sure, that could be a very creepy move. And there was a Toronto shopping centre, I remember, that banned pickup artists because a lot of them had seen a video online where they would approach girls from behind and grab them on the shoulder. And there were guys going out in groups of 20, 30, 40. So the shopping centre's like, what the hell's this? And the guy's like, well, I've seen it in a nightclub video. You're like, but this is day game. And why are you out with 20 guys? This is crazy. So again, calibration. Torero toe, again, a very egotistical copyrighted term. I only wrote it in Street Hustle because after teaching a lot of students and demoing for a lot of students, one student in particular said to me in Prague actually, Tom, why do you keep inching your toe forwards? Often in the set, I'll start this distance, then I'll close in this distance, and then this toe's really coming in now, and it stands like that, if you can see that on camera. And it's almost like, I'm coming in towards her crotch, and the student's like, why do you keep doing it? Why do you keep doing it? And I didn't know I was doing it, so that's why I said doing this. It's a subconscious way, and magicians do it as well. Darren Brown certainly does it, of finding an excuse to close the distance. So if you want to make a day game set sexual, just close the distance. Again, it sounds stupid, but I tell you, if you just close the distance between a man and a woman, it immediately gets sparky and electrical. It's really weird. We'll come on to misdirection later, because why is it not a good idea to get the sexual tension really high during day game? Overheats. So do you really want to be in her face for 7 minutes? It might be fun. You might even kiss her. But what's probably going to happen to the number?
She'll flake.
Yeah, she flakes. So all this cool stuff that I remember an instructor called Sam used to be really sexual. Always grabbing the hand, tiger eyes, sometimes make-outs, and then she flaked. And we're like, that's really weird. But then if you think about it, day games, it's meant to be relatively normal and smooth. We're not in a club. Tiger eyes is what I do a lot. Again, not for 7 minutes. But when she's talking, you can just turn them on. If you don't know what I mean by tiger eyes, it's that look of you going into an all-you-can-eat buffet as a hungry man and just looking at steak and going, Sean Connery, Roger Moore, Daniel Craig. It's a smirk as well. Incidental, so a bit of misdirection here. Classic street performance, actually classic pickpocket. Yeah, there's a guy on YouTube, I think his name's Apollo. There's two guys that do this full time, I think, in Vegas. They do stage pickpocketing. So they're not doing anything illegal, but they'll go on the stage, they'll get people up from conferences and work dues, and then they'll steal their watch, and then they'll steal their belt. And the best one is he takes off his tie as he's not looking. So how the fuck is he doing this? How is Darren Brown doing all of this? How is a street magician doing the cups and the balls and the melon? What's that? Misdirection. Look over there. Look at the time. Over here. So when you're touching that classic thing in pickup, you don't look where you touch. You look away. And I go, look at that pigeon over there. Look at that. Look at those people over there. Do you think that's a date over there? Misdirection. How tall are you, I say to her. Are you cheating? Let me see your shoes. And I maybe touch her knee, touch her ankle. I'll go up alongside her. We'll compare heights. Okay. Oh my God, you're a midget. You're totally cheating with those shoes. -2 points, you know. You're so small I could put you in my pocket. A little hobbit. A very cute hobbit. I like it. Remember the buffer phrase? I like it. She's looking at me like, what the fuck? So, talking about height, talking about hair. If you're brave, just for a second, remember this is the middle of the day. So you just touch her hair. Oh, red hair. Okay, cool. Is that your natural hair color? How long is your hair? Usually I'm doing this on a date in the venue. Yeah? Second venue. How long is your hair? Have you ever had it down to here? Touch the bottom of her back. What about here? Like a lesbian haircut. What about here? Have you ever shaved your head here? Or feel that bit of my head there. Do that. Hair. And shoes. I'll say, oh, you've got tiny feet. Look at your little feet. My God, look at your little hobbit feet. And on the street, I'll knock my foot against her foot. If I'm talking about boots and wellies, the other day I did one in the National Gallery and she was wearing like, you know, posh girls often wear riding boots. Like Chelsea girls wear these riding boots that are basically posh wellies. If you're not British, wellies are, what do they call them in? Gum boots. In the States, I don't know what you call them. But they're meant for farms. And this girl in the National Gallery had wellies on, so I just grabbed the welly. I just like talking about her wellies. Obviously, it's getting very sexual now because my head is at crotch height. Yeah. So if you can put in some incidental touch and do it. Umbrella game. Anybody here day game in the rain? No? Oh yeah, there we go. Up in the northwest, yeah. In Wales, you need to. And again, this was discovered accidentally early on when I used to have way more energy and I used to go out because I was so keen to day game every day and it rained in London, so I took a golf umbrella. Now, what happens when you run up to a girl or you walk up to a girl with an umbrella and you put it over you and her? It creates what we just spoke about. Immediate proximity, because she's like that far from your face. You're in a bubble. It's a weird audio inside an umbrella anyway. The rain's falling. And the whole set for 7 minutes is under the umbrella. And why is it practically good as well for a bounce or an eye date? Because she's going to get wet. She's going to get wet. And she might not have an umbrella. And it's easy to say, come on, we'll just go over there. It's bloody freezing. Let's go to Pret just for 5 minutes. Come on. And you escort her. And if you're cheeky, you know, you get the little Victorian promenading arm on. Behave yourself, you know. This is like our wedding anniversary. Right, come on then. And you march her through the venue. I do that in the venues as well, or with the umbrella. The second cheeky thing about the umbrella, I used to watch one of my early wings called Rami. He used to do this. He used to dress very smartly, and he always used to carry an umbrella, even when it wasn't raining. I'm not sure why. I never discovered why Rami had an umbrella. Maybe he was a spy with like a poison tip or something. But what Rami would do in the set, as he was judging the girl and qualifying her, he'd start poking her. I don't mean poking her. He'd start prodding her wellies or like giving her a little thigh tap, just with his umbrella, you know, like a Victorian gentleman. And it was hilarious. And again, girls loved it. Girls giggled. Calibrated. You're not whacking her, yeah? So this links on to something I saw in Oslo, in Norway, with an instructor, Sam, young Sam again. Sam was meant to be teaching a boot camp, and he had gone off and he had brought this massive baguette for his lunch. And I was like, come on, Sam, students, man. You gotta go get going. So he starts teaching the boot camp, eating a baguette, not very professional. And then he opens a girl, a beautiful blonde Swedish girl who walks past, and he opens with his baguette. And she's, bless her, standing there, and he's ramming this baguette into his mouth with all mayonnaise. And I was thinking, God, this is not going to go well. And do you know what? It was brilliant. High value behavior, eating in front of a hot girl, because it shows you don't care. It relaxes you anyway. So I used to know a day gamer that walked around London eating grapes. It just shows you don't give a fuck. Someone's talking and you don't give a fuck. You're just eating in front of them. It's bad manners. It's very good for hot girls. And we called it the phallic object, because wouldn't it be funny if you walked around eating a German Bratwurst, you know, shoving it in your mouth. It was quite funny. There must have been a joke in there, a dick joke in there, I can't really remember. The mini bounce, that's a bit of physicality again. Magicians use it again. Pickpockets certainly use it in London. Just come over here. How do you get a human to comply easily? What's the magic word? Because. Psychologists know this all the time. So if you're in a busy bar and you want that bar stool, they did the experiment where you say, excuse me, can I have that bar stool? And I've forgotten what the percentage was, but a lot of people say no. And then you say, excuse me, can I have that bar stool? Because, you know, my friend's got a dodgy ankle. Very high percentage to the bar stool. And then the psychologist thought, I wonder if it really matters what you say. So this is on video. Goes up to the busy bar. Excuse me, can I have that bar stool? Because my friend's got a nose. And the guy's like, yeah, sure, mate. Yeah, no worries. Car salespeople use it. Pickpockets use it. Street magicians use it. Pickup artists use it. I say, let's just move over here a second because of the fumes. You know, Oxford Street fumes. Watch out, there's a pigeon. Come over here a second. Compliance. Bounce her to the side of the road. From there to Starbucks. From there to a pub. From there to Regent's Park. From there to my house. Mini bounce. Physicality. How are we doing? All right, this is a revelation for the older gents who might have tried a cheeky bit of Viagra or Cialis perhaps. I've lived with enough students on residentials 40-year-old guys, 50-year-old guys, even 30 guys in their 30s, where they're not relying on drugs like, I was going to say Prozac. What do I want to say? Viagra. They're not relying on Viagra or the better form, in my opinion, Cialis. But they might just have it in their wallet because they might have had a bad incident like I've had in the past where you've got a hot girl on your bed and for whatever reason you panic or you've been knocking them out too much. You have a terrible moment in your pickup career where she's lying on the bed going, all right, let's go. And you can't. And if you've ever experienced that moment as a man, it's humiliating, it's worrying, you freak out, you panic. The next time you've got a hot girl in your apartment, you're fucking panicking. It can lead to this psychological thing, and it's really nothing to do with your body, it's all in your mind. We know that as guys, right? But just having that in your wallet, I carry just one tablet in my wallet, it calms you down. Do I ever really use it? No. But I know it's there, it calms me down. In an emergency situation, you're tired, you've drunk too much, you had sex that morning with a different girl, suddenly it's the same day late, fucking hell, oh my God, it's the same day late, it's really fast. You're not going to panic. But here's the discovery from a student in Warsaw in Poland. He was in his 50s, this guy, and he used to take Cialis before the notch. And then the next day would go out day gaming. It was part of what he had paid for. And now Cialis doesn't just give you a hard-on, but it makes you sensitive, let's say. Doesn't really make you horny, scientists say, but it makes you kind of easily ready, let's just say. So he's walking around doing day game like a fucking beast, like an animal, you know? And I didn't know what had happened. So I said to him, man, there's something different about you today. You got intent. I've been nagging you about this. Come on. You got the eyes, you got the proximity, she's going crazy. What's different, man? I know you got laid yesterday, but you should be more relaxed. He said, man, it's a Cialis. It's in my system. I took 20 milligrams, I think, he said, which is a very high dose. And it stays in your system way longer than Viagra. So if you want to be cheeky, and if you never know what sexual intent is like in day game, either A, watch a bit of porn before you go out, and don't jack off, or B, you might one day discover that. Tipsy is a little bit more unethical, because it's not cold approach. It's not pure day game if you're going out and getting pissed and doing day game. But do day gamers do this? Yes. Do instructors do this? Yes. 2 instructors I know very well. I'm not saying getting hammered, but day gamers are known for having lunchtime beers, a couple of pints, certainly gutter game, because remember, she's been out drinking. So if you do drink, you'll notice a difference. If you've never tried, I'm not saying drunk day game, but certainly 2-pint day game, what will you notice? Well, when you record yourself, you'll suddenly notice, oh my God, I'm being fun. I'm being flirty. I've got it in me. I can actually banter. I'm not such a serious bastard. It is possible. So that's why it's good. But why is it obviously bad? It's a crutch. You rely on it. And one student on a boot camp, I wrote this in the new book, available. What's it called? Below the Belt. In the new book, this student actually, I remember it, Longacre Street, just up the road, Covent Garden. And I know it's a cliche, but he was Irish. And he kept disappearing. And John said, where are you going, mate? And he just said, I just need a wee, you know. 5 minutes later, I just need a wee. 10 minutes later, I just need a wee. I'm like, what's wrong with this Irish dude? And he'd come back and his face would be a little bit flushed. And this is probably like 1 p.m., 2 p.m. And then we worked out where he was going for a quick shot in a local pub, yeah? Not a shot, but a shot. So his day game improved. Oh, and just a little caveat on that. Has anyone done day game with a hangover? Yeah. And did it make your day game better or worse?
Worse, I think.
Did it? Okay, fair enough. You should try it and see what happens. But for me, actually, when I'm hungover, because I'm very high energy and I just keep talking, usually, when I'm hungover, it calms me down. It slows me down. It lowers my voice. Hank Moody style. And actually, I found sets go really, really well. So, all right, let's wake you up a little bit because we're going to pause in about 20 minutes. But let's go into this magical hat. I'm not a magician, but I got this hat as a homage to to game, but also to show you some objects. In this hat are lots of objects, and I'll just do some random ones. These are all new Terrera tricks. Okay, I'll do these. A London badge. I love London. Cost me 20p, right? Very expensive. Currently, he's got the most points, so he might be getting both of them. Might be getting one, he might be getting one. So good knowledge going on over here. So play your cards right, you could have one of those. Now, which is your favourite one? Go with your gut. Go, just say it immediately. Come on.
I love London.
Do you? I love London. All right. This has got your name on it, young lady or young man. I'm not going to give it to you now. I'll give it to you later. If you get 10 points, you get the badge. Do you see what I'm doing? A pathetically juvenile primary school trick, which works incredibly well with girls. What's that old saying? What was funny when you were 5? It's funny with girls now. It's basically true. If you pick her up and pretend to put her in a dustbin, she's, oh my God, or you pick her up and spin around. And, ah. So this works, particularly when you go abroad. Rami, the guy I was telling you about with the umbrella, came with me to Moscow the first time we did a Moscow mission in 2012. We were scared shitless, and we filled up our suitcase with London tat, which we bought on Oxford Street. You know, the tatty shops? Actually, they're a rip-off. In the airport, it's cheaper. And you get like 20 of these badges. And we called it Trinket Bait. It's a little bit suspect. But you can send pings to girls saying, oh, I've got you something really expensive, you know. Maybe a photo outside a jeweller's shop or something, or, you know, Victoria's Secret. And you go, oh my God, what is it? What is it? What is it? You say, yeah, play your cards right, you know. You can have a badge. Hello Kitty. I used to get Justin Bieber badges. It's that £1 trick. So I say, I spent £1 on you. I'm going to give you this on the date if you bring something for me. Can't cost more than £1. You've got a week to think about it. Go. Why is that good? What's the principle behind that? Investment. She spends the whole week panicking. And I've had girls bake me stuff, buy me really cool things, and I give her a shitty badge. Foreign girls love the London thing. Obviously, you can change it. Trinket bait. Don't just give it to girls as a gift. Why is that chody? Why is that pathetic? Hey, I'm coming to Moscow. I got you some gifts.
Neediness.
Oh yeah. It's just the wrong thing. This is not why I'm giving gifts. I'm not handing out iPhones, right? It's a joke. It's a joke. I'll do a couple more. Oh, this is dirty. This is dirty. I saw a French guy doing this in Paris, and to be fair, I still haven't done it. But I was teaching a French guy, and he did this on a date. Do you remember what these are? Fizz whiz, if you're a child of the 80s and 90s.
Put them on your tongue.
Oh, very good. Very good. Put them on your tongue, and what happens?
They bubble and fizz.
They bubble and fizz and explode. They explode in your mouth, and it feels really good. Popping action. And God knows why he had it in his pocket, but on the date, it was an instant date. He's like, oh, put this in your mouth. Oh, yeah. No, that's the German accent. What is the French accent like this? Open your mouth and put out your tongue. She was a foreigner. She was a tourist in Paris. He's like, yes, more. Put out the tongue more. Come close. Good. I put this on. Close your mouth. How does it feel? Feels good, huh? You like it? I always default to the German, yeah? This is a German Frenchman. And again, what's funny when you're 5 is funny when she's 35 or hopefully 25. And it was filthy. He was putting it on his tongue. She was putting it on her tongue. You could do a little make out, you know. It's 30p that was. So anything filthy. One more. Something more random. Oh, I'll do this one. And this is copyrighted Robert Baxter, one of the most cheeky, original OG PUAs who's got thousands of his own routines. But this one he was telling me about in Russia. And Moscow, Baxter usually does clubs and bars, and his favourite place to game is strip bars. He doesn't actually do much day game, but even when he day games, he carries these around, and so does Mystery now. Can anyone guess why you would carry around these in a bar or a strip club? They work extremely well in a strip club.
You award them to girls.
Exactly. So you see it's part of my repertoire, my banter, that I'm always giving out points and prizes. Maybe it's the primary teacher in me, but girls love points. Points means prizes, and when you get to 10, I'll give you a prize. What's the prize? What's the prize? It's a surprise. Dun, dun, dun. So this is just an extension of that. And he's sitting there and he's awarding the girls stickers for good behaviour, or, oh, that's good, you're interesting. Not just hot, but you can cook as well. That's good. Oh, that's quite funny for a girl. Haha, write that down. No, I'm not going to give you a gold star. It was good, but it wasn't that good. You have to impress me first. I'll give you a bronze. It's all right. We can't all be winners. Right? Okay, classic banter. Give her a star. And what especially does the stripper do when you give her a bronze star?
Wants to get.
Oh, she wants the gold one. And then they're all fucking coming over trying to get the gold star, and they'll keep coming back. And what does Baxter do? He pushes them away. No, darling, you need to go and work. Look, there's that guy over there. He's going to pay you loads of money. Go on. I'm not going to buy you anything. Go over to that guy. You've got to do your work. And she's coming back. No, no, please, just a gold star. You could use it in a club. You could certainly use it on dates, instant dates. You're just going to have to think of a reason why you're carrying around stars, but she probably doesn't. She probably doesn't ask. I'll do one more because it's related and I'll forget. If you've seen Stealth Seduction, do you remember an infield and then a text exchange? I'm trying to remember which one it is. Yeah, I think it's a text exchange, and I send her a photo of these two objects.
Yeah, this one of that.
Yeah, it's the one in New York. So I dig him a girl in a park. We start texting. It's sometime around Easter. It must have been around Easter. So I start making all those jokes about the Easter Bunny. It's the same shit as Santa, you know. Have you been good for the Easter Bunny? And then I do the same routine as the badges. I say to her, look, because you're so cool, I've bought you something really expensive. She's like, oh my God, what a chode. She must be thinking, this guy's a fucking chode. And then you send her a picture of a Kinder Surprise. And if you can, make it the Barbie version. And I found the Barbie version yesterday. Because again, lots of jokes about I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world, plastic fantastic, Little Miss Princess. All right, calm down, Instagram girl, yeah? So you get her that. Maybe she brings something. But in this thing, I can't remember if it was Jägermeister. The text said, choose one. Quite original for me. That was quite a good text. And thank fuck, she chose that. So again, I knew what was going to happen on the date, and I ate that. I ate that. I think, I sent her a picture of the wrapper, and I made the toy, you know. I say, you get a toy. That's how much I love you. I spent £1 on you, and you get a toy. You can keep it forever. Memory of me. You're a lucky girl.
What's
See?
the bottle?
What's the bottle? You're a good boy. It's Jägermeister. It's just a cheap little shot bottle. Again, we'll talk about this later, but for logistics, don't go in your apartment buying loads of big bottles because you look like an alkie and you're not going to use them unless you are an alkie. So you don't know what girls like drinking. You can guess it's probably going to be Prosecco, Rosé. It's probably not going to be Stella or hard, straight vodka. Maybe it is in Finland or Russia. So I just buy loads of these in my van. This came out of my van. So she's like, oh, have you got any Captain Morgan? Yes, I have. Dun, 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 dun. Vodka, tequila, Sambuca, whatever. You can have a nice little mini bar collection, and they're not expensive.
I'll
All
show
right?
you my secret bar.
Show you my secret bar. Yeah. Captain Morgan, or even better, as they used to say in Night Game, but this is true. You say to a girl, you've got some, let's just say pond weed. You've got some pond weed, you've got some grass back in your place, and you'll be shocked at how many girls will bounce just because of that, particularly in America. If you're the guy with weed back at your place, she'll come home. And in Scandinavia. It's amazing. I'm talking about pond weed. Obviously, nothing illegal. All right, let's do 10 more minutes, and then we'll order our lunch. And we need to wake up a little bit, but I hope this is helping. This is new. I've only been doing it this year. What's the most famous kind of day game stop? The front stop, the run-around stop. It became famous basically because of YouTube, yep, and all these London infields of guys just running around and stopping. And it's really good. It really works. You should definitely learn it, particularly if you're doing it in Oxford Street and Fifth Avenue. But I just gave up on it. I'd had loads of good reactions with the front stop, but it's kind of all or nothing. If you fuck it up or she doesn't like it, she's gone. So this year, my whole thing's been about trying to be a bit more smooth, a bit more indirect, direct, a bit more situational. Because I'm like the magician, I don't just want it to vanish, I just want more time to display my value. So I still go direct, but I was trying this stop. And I did it in Japan, 100%, and I've just done it in Moscow, 100%. So you have to picture this on Regent Street, a nice wide pavement, okay? Oxford Street's probably too busy for this, particularly at Christmas. Regent Street or Longacre, my favourite day game street in London. It's just up the road. It's wide, good traffic, slower pace. Certainly not Christmassy people. You've got to have good eyes for this, and you've got to have your head up. You can't be talking to your wing, or you can't be miserable. You've got to have your head up. You should be walking like that anyway, like a cock, yeah? Like you own the pavement. And you see her coming towards you. Again, this is like the 3-second rule. You've got about 3 seconds. She's coming towards you. In England, we walk on the left. We basically do, if you look at stairs in the underground and on Oxford Street. In Europe, they walk on the right, obviously. So switch it round. But in London, I switched to the wrong side of the pavement. So immediately, most people are walking on the left, I'm walking on the right. So I'm almost bumping into people as they're coming past me. And I'm walking straight towards her now. And we're getting about this close. What's that, 3 meters? And I'm looking at her with a smirk and my hand's already out. So I'm not a chugger. I'm not one of those charity sign-up people. Hiya, how's it going? Do you want to sign up? This is something weird, like I know you and you know me. And we met in a party 2 years ago, but I don't quite remember. You know that vibe? I know you. Hello again, that kind of vibe. It's you. You can even do the, is it you? It's you. And what do humans do when you do that? Hey mate, all right. They do exactly that. He's like, for a split second, he's like, oh fuck, who is it? And every girl gives me a second. So I just go, hello. And she's like, hello. And I go, I know this is cheeky, but I had to da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. It requires very strong eye contact. It probably requires the hand. It requires rudeness. You have to get into her lane. And maybe half of the time she slightly moves. So you end up in this position. She slightly moves if you're not dominant enough. In Japan, this is all I did. Just walk in their lane. Requires good eyes as well. But I haven't done the wheel around since, and this has worked just as well. So I'll video it. By the time this goes out, I'll try and put it on video. All right, we're nearly there. Yes, we're nearly at the end of the day game portion. So, how to reduce flakes, because loads of you get numbers, just like me, and they flake. So, shout it out. How do you reduce flakes from just day game? Investment. So, getting her to do the work. We've already said longer sets. How long? 7 minutes, 7 to 10. If you're a new guy, sure, go on a few instant dates. Just to practice dating and to try and get that number a bit more solid. Again, you're recording yourself, so if all your sets are 1 minute, don't email me and ask why they're flaking. It's just, humans don't like 1 minute interactions. Grounding, someone said grounding. So, this came to me from Sasha. Do you remember wonderful Sasha PUA? And Sasha watched me day game in Liverpool Street Station, I think 2011, 2012. And I was like jokey and funny like Sasha, but Sasha said to me, there's one thing you're not doing. She doesn't know anything about you. I was like, what do you mean? So, well, she's walked away and she's thought that was a cool interaction, but she knows nothing of you. So that's why I said grounding. So what do you need to tell the girl in that 7 minute interaction?
A little bit about yourself.
What could you tell her? Yeah, what could you tell her? Who you are, what you do.
Your hobbies.
Yeah, basics. Remember, this is after the hook point, so you can be a bit chody. And I say, my name's Tom, and I'm from Wales. I used to teach kids, and now I'm in London for this, and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. So when she walks away, she doesn't just think that was a flashy pickup artist. She actually thinks, oh yeah, I remember that guy from Cardiff. That's what grounding is. Now, this is weird, right? The more you do day game, the better you get. You're actually going to collect less numbers. And the best day gamers I've seen have the most kind of polarized blowouts. You can always tell a sweet day gamer or a beginner day gamer or kind of beginner intermediate day gamer because he rarely gets blown out of set. Think about that. He's in a lot of long sets. And the student might be thinking, oh, this is pretty good now. 15 minutes now, sitting with this girl in Trafalgar Square. I'm like, mate, she didn't know what the fuck he wanted. He said, really? Really? But it was so long, it was so nice. And then you play it back to him. There was no teasing, there was no challenging, there was no attraction, there was no spikes. It was 15 minutes of best friend forever, i.e. gay friend zone. Yeah? So weirdly, as you dress in a different way and you're a little bit more sexual, you might get less numbers, but they're more solid. Keep statistics and prove it to yourself. All right, finally, I've been implementing this year as well. After an Australian boot camp last year, I think it was Craig that told me to do this. I might be wrong, but it definitely helps. I used to say at the end of the interaction, when you go for the number, don't mention date plans, because I used to think it was a little bit needy. Like you're so desperate, like, oh, are you free on Tuesday? Can we go ice skating? It's a little bit needy. But John would, Craig, I think, would throw it in at the end of the set to make the number more solid. So you get the number, is it WhatsApp or Viber? Da-da-da-da-da-da. And then he would set up the date plans. So listen, I know you got to go, I got to go, but just quickly, next week is pretty busy for me, I think. Yeah, Tuesday or Thursday, false choice. She says Tuesday. Okay. Where are you living? Central? Okay. Tell you what, we'll meet around here on Tuesday. What are you, beer or wine? Wine. Okay, yeah, there's that wine bar down there. Tuesday, I'll give you a message. It's probably around 7 in that wine bar down there, all right? Do you remember my name? I always do that one. Do you remember my name? Investment compliance. You don't remember my name. We're getting divorced. It's over, finished. Tom and Jerry, Tom Hanks, Tom Cruise. And your name? Okay, see you on Tuesday. See you for the wine on Tuesday. Ta-da. Now that saved me a lot of text hassle. Yeah, she might still flake, quite probably. That's day game. But at least in the back of her mind, she's agreed to something. Now, what's the interesting psychological trick behind this?
She's almost already agreed to meet.
Yes. And if you know about persuasion and influence and Cialdini and sales, they call this commitment, which is exactly what a tele-salesperson will do and what the car salesperson will do. They'll get you to commit to something very small. So can you come in for the test drive on Tuesday or Thursday? Tuesday. All right, can you put down a 20 quid thing? Can you just do this little thing? And as humans, we don't like to seem inconsistent. And making a pathetic agreement to do one small thing will lead you to doing some crazy shit. Yeah? And it, again, sounds like bullshit, but try it.
What about seeding? You ever use seeding, like an event, like if he likes like flower arranging, you think, oh yeah, this is great for rather than just saying go for a drink. What's your view on that?
A lot of my girls like flower arranging, yeah. No, I've never done flower arranging, but just weigh it up as the seducer, as the pickup artist. What's the ideal evening date?
Drinks at like 10 o'clock.
A couple of drinks, couple of venues, and a shag. Do we really want to be getting into territory like ice skating and bike riding and river boating? We could, and it works. Let me tell you it works. That's what I used to do in 2011, 12, 13, 14. I used to take the girls around Hyde Park on a bike. I used to do the Clipper boat to Greenwich. I used to do events at the galleries. What's the problem with this for a seducer?
Boyfriendy.
It's very boyfriendy. It's very lengthy. So she ain't going to shag you after the flower arranging, right? She's going to put you in the boyfriend thing. So it's going to be a 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 in Moscow date thing. And you're just taking yourself further and further away from where you live and the bar, which is really what you want. So be very careful on that. It's my last resort. You know?
So use it, but only as a...
Use it, but don't... And again, it's the frame behind it. Don't promise her that you're a boyfriend. Sex first, boyfriend later. That's all inner game stuff, but sex first. We're seducers. We're not boyfriends. And girls kind of know this. And in London, that's the brilliant thing about being back in London. Girls know what it means when you say 10 p.m. Tuesday wine. She knows what that means, right? I agree. In other cultures, in Moscow, they certainly don't know what that means. 10 p.m. wine.
When I was in Japan, I used it because...
Yeah, precisely. Yeah. Precisely. To get away with that socially acceptable thing. In Japan, I just say Starbucks coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah, because They don't have that culture of, well, they do, but it's not vocal. You don't say to a girl, meet me at 10 p.m. and we're going to shag. That's the great thing about London. Guys complain about London, but girls here, ever ready bunnies, aren't they? Woo! Okay. How are we doing? Yeah, I'm going to show you one more object from the hat, and then you're going to order your food. I'm going to show you something relevant to day game. Okay, this. And this is from the Magic Shop under Charing Cross Road, if anybody knows. I've had it for a long time. If you're a nerdy magician. Why do I carry a dice around when I teach students?
There's different sets, different type of set types.
Yeah, go on, you've seen the video. I spoke about this years ago.
Yeah. So if you said, let's say one, you need to do a single girl, you do two, you do a two set, three is a mix, that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's not literally the number of girls you would approach, but let's say me and you are doing a teaching program, and the guy always just wants to do the front stop again and again and again and again and again. I say, right, now's the time for going inside H&M. And he's like, oh, fuck. You know? Or now's the time for the bookshop. Or now's the time for the museum. Or now's the time for the steps. And I nag you, but I know you're not going to do it, especially if you're on your own. You're not going to do it. So you can do this with a wing, a student, yourself, play with yourself, not in public. So you could say to yourself, right, one is front stop. Two is stationary standing. Three is supermarket. 4, clothing store. 5 is a 2-set, the dreaded 2-set. And 6, let's go fucking crazy, you know, with her mum or with her dad, if you want to be crazy. No, she's on a bike in a bicycle clothes in Amsterdam, very easy. Yep. You just keep going with the student, the poor student, all day. And you have a little bet with him. You say, the first one that does all 6 in any order, I'll buy you dinner.